Hey, today we're going to be talking about reverse ETL and how you can leverage it with your Domo instance to write data back to your favorite data sources. And so, first of all, I want to talk a little bit about reverse ETL. I feel like it's a newer, while the term is newer, the concept is really old, right? And the concept is if we look at this flow chart, we have data sources that come into our data warehouse and then they get transformed, right? In this case, Domo. We love Domo because we can do things like magic ETL and the transformation is so easy. Business users can do it. And then once we've got those insights, we want to put it back out to the source systems that we used in the first place, right? So maybe it goes back to Google Analytics, maybe it goes to Salesforce, but this is what we call reverse ETL. So it's kind of like the opposite of a data connector in Domo. It's taking data and pushing it back out to different systems. And so in the tutorial today, I'm going to go over a very simple use case where I have a lead scoring model in Domo, and it's going to push data back to my Salesforce instance so that my sales reps can consume that lead score. Maybe if it's a high lead score, we'll let them know that, hey, like, let's go contact that lead. And if it's low, we'll just ignore that person. So hopping into the demo, if I come here to my Domo instance, I have a very simple web form where I'm mocking up some data that I get from Salesforce. So I have an ID and then I have a lead score that let's say I did some analysis or I did some sort of model and it assigned a lead score and then also a sales rep who should be responsible for contacting that lead. So in this case, this is the starting part of our reverse ETL. If we come back to this flow chart, we've gotten data from the source systems, we put it into our warehouse. And I guess just to caveat here, I feel like if you're a smaller company and use Domo, most likely Domo is your data warehouse. But chances are, if you're a bigger company, you probably already have a dedicated data warehouse, right? Like Snowflake or Redshift. And so this same concept with reverse ETL applies with both, right? It applies with those big data warehouses as well. But I wanted to talk about how with smaller customers, we now have access to do things like this with using Domo. And so in this case, I'm going to write this lead score back to Salesforce and then also send a Slack message to the sales rep, which is myself. And the way I do this is I leverage my favorite platform called Integromat. And I've talked a lot about this before. I'll probably do a more in-depth tutorial on exactly what's going on here. But the basic idea is that I'm hitting the SQL endpoint for Domo. So in this case, this is public on the public API. And actually, let me pull up that doc real quick. So if we come over to the Domo docs, here I'll actually put this. I'll link this in the description of the video. But this right here is what I'm leveraging. I'm using the Query Dataset API where you can send some simple SQL. So in this case, I'm just selecting everything from a table. And this case, very simple. It's only 3 leads. But this is the API that I'm hitting to take my data out of Domo. And once it's out of Domo, then we can start playing around with it in other systems, right? So then we're going to parse the JSON to get back the rows, and then we're going to iterate through the rows. And then this is where the magic happens. Once we have the data in the platform, we're going to come in here to Salesforce, and we're going to update those leads. So in this case, we're updating the record ID to identify what the lead is. And then all we're doing is simply updating the lead score that we got from Domo. And then once that's done, we'll also trigger off a Slack message saying that a lead score updated for the person that we have our Slack ID, right? So if we come back here, we have a unique Slack ID for each person in your Slack instance. This is going to send off a bot message to the person in Slack. Okay, so let's just do this real quick. Let's run this and show you how it's working. To start off, I'm here in Salesforce, and as you can see here, these are the leads that I'm going to refresh, and we can see that the lead score is blank right now. So nothing has happened. So now if I come back here and let's run it, we are going to see some leads come in. And so now if I come in here over to my Slack instance, I can see the lead score updated, and it actually gives me a link to my Salesforce instance. So let's click the link and let's take a look at the lead that I have to contact. Come to details, and we can see that I am the owner of the lead and that I have a lead score of 33. Okay, so not great. Let's see if Hurley is a better lead. Details, lead score of 70, right? So in this case, right, as a sales user, I'm now able to consume the stuff that I took from the metrics that my business analyst made in Domo. I don't have to go into Domo. I can just consume it right here in the platform of choice, and now I can go contact these leads. So as I've mentioned before, I'm a big fan of reverse ETL as well as these workflow automation platforms like Zapier and Integromat. For me, it's really handy because it really solves the last mile of BI, which I think in this case is automated action, right? We're so good at pulling in data sources, we're good at building dashboards, but sometimes we don't have actionable insights from those dashboards. And a way to do this is by automating the action, right? So in this case, creating leads in Salesforce, updating something in Shopify, right? Creating a payment record, running a Stripe payment. All this can be done using reverse ETL. And so I'd highly recommend using a platform like this. These are free to get started. Actually, Make, I've still been using the free tier of Make, so I would highly recommend it. Or Zapier if you're a little less comfortable coding. But I would definitely recommend you get started with reverse ETL, see how it can help your business, and using a very simple tool like this, you can get it up and running in a matter of minutes. So, hope you like the tutorial, and thanks.